Well, good evening, everybody. Welcome in. Glad that everybody is here. Welcome to Taco Tuesday. Welcome to Ocean Travel Talk, and we have got a show for you. Cindy's not here, but damn it all is to keep me in line. So we are good to go there. We have got a great show for you guys tonight. And if people have questions for our panelists, please put in question. I'm not gonna I don't want to waste a bunch of time. Well, it's not a waste of a bunch of time, so excuse me for that. It's not a waste of time, but I'm not gonna take the time right now to say hi to everybody in the chat. I do see everybody, and I do appreciate you guys for coming in. This is going to be a great show, and I do appreciate everyone that is here today. We've got a great pair, a great panel here. That between the panelists that are here, we have 124 cruises and 91 years worth of cruising. Now, obviously, none of them are that old to have cruised 91 years, but when you add everything up, we have a lot of experience here, and we are going to be talking about a lot of tips and things to look for when you are on a cruise ship. I did. Hopefully, everyone is answering the poll question, and that question is, how many cruises have you been on? And the possible answers are 0 to 1, 2 to 5, 6 to 10, or over 10 cruises. And right now we have 18 votes, which is awesome. And we have 22% at 0 and 1, 11% at 2 to 5, 22% at 6 to 10, and 44% have been over 10 cruises. And Cindy and I would be in that category also. And that is fantastic. So I do see everyone. I do, again, welcome everyone into the chat. I'll be watching the chat for anyone that does have any questions for anybody on the panel. Please just type in the word question, and then and that way I can definitely look for that. So again, I want to welcome everybody, and I'm going to go ahead and bring our panel up now so we can get going. And so the first panelist up is the one and only SCT Adventures. Greg and Felicia, how are you guys doing tonight?
Hey, Bruce. Hey, everybody.
Welcome in. And second up is the one and only Sea Leg Journeys. How are you guys doing?
We're doing great.
What's up, y'all?
What's up?
Third, we've got Bill from Warmstrong Adventures in the house. Welcome in, Bill.
Hey, everybody. Welcome.
And then we've got Andrew with Embarkation Nation is in the house.
Hello.
And we've got Sherry with Destination Fun is in the house. Welcome in, Sherry. So how is everybody doing this fine Tuesday evening? You all are, I think almost everybody's on the East Coast. Bill, you're a little bit more in you're close though. So thank you all for coming in, because I know it's still sunny out here. So it's all probably dark where you guys are at. So thank you for coming in today. This is fantastic. Glad that you all are here. All right. So first of all, let's just go around the horn. Tell everyone how many cruises you guys have been on, and when you took your, as much as you can. I know, not remember, but maybe cruise or what that was like when you did your very first cruise. And let's start with Greg and Felicia.
We went on our first cruise. It was our 20th anniversary in 2019 on the
Victory.
On the Carnival Victory, which is the Radiance now, since redone her. And we've been on 9 cruises since then. And so we got hooked on our first one and started vlogging. Actually, went on the first one and had quite a long gap, because then
Nice. Then let's hit with Sea Lake Journeys. When was your guys' first cruise, or what was your first cruise like, and what made you fall in with cruising?
So our first cruise was a celebration that our children were grown and left home. Woohoo! And that was in 2004. And we've been on 30, 33, 34, 35.
Mid-30s.
Yeah, cruises. Our first cruise was on the Carnival Sensation.
Yes, and we were hooked.
Yes. We thought that was a huge ship back then, too.
Oh, and I didn't ask Greg and Felicia, how many cruise lines have you been on?
Just two.
Two?
MSC and Carnival, yeah.
MSC and Carnival. And Sea Lake Journeys, Robin and Chet.
We have been on 4 cruise lines, soon to be 5 cruise lines. We are platinum on Carnival, platinum on Princess, and what is considered platinum on MSC, but it's called gold.
Nice. All right, Bill. How many cruises have you been on?
I had. Oops, go ahead.
Go ahead.
I've been on 43 cruises. Yay! Started out in 1990. My first ship was the Ecstasy, Carnival Ecstasy. Loved it, and I didn't have an anniversary trip when I got married. So the next year, my wife and I, we decided to go on a cruise. So that's how I started cruising. I've been in love ever since. So the cruising stayed, the wife left, but
Well, you know, it is.
it is what it is.
Awesome. And how many have you just done Carnival, or how many cruises have you?
I've been on 3. Yep, I've been on 3. I've been on Carnival, Royal, and Norwegian, but I have a Holland booked, and I also have an MSC booked.
Nice. And then Andrew, how many cruises have you been on?
9 total.
And when do you remember your first cruise? When did you do your first cruise?
2011 on the Carnival Ecstasy. It was awesome. I loved it. The two cruise lines that I've been on so far are Princess and Carnival. We have Norwegian and MSC and Royal within the next 2 years coming up. So we want to do the other cruise lines.
Very cool. Nice. And Sherry, do you remember when your first cruise was? Because I think you said you had started when you were
When I was a kid, yeah. I don't remember what year, but it was probably in the early 90s. And I have been on Carnival, Norwegian, Royal, and and I've been on Princess, and now we're about to go on Celebrity.
Nice. Very, very cool. All righty. So going back to your guys' first cruise and the anticipation, what is one thing, and I know there's a lot of things, but what is one thing which you tell anybody, and it doesn't even have to be a first-time cruiser, but what is one thing that you would, you wished you knew when you first cruised that you've learned since? Or what's one thing that someone should do to prepare to go on their cruise? And we'll start with Greg and Felicia.
I mean, there's a lot of things. Go ahead.
You were playing.
These little things right here, those little magnetic hooks. I wish we'd have taken those on our very first cruise. We'd learned those early on. Those come in so handy. That's probably one of our favorite things to take. Those and I love taking our cups. There's always a Buc-ee's on the way to a cruise.
In case you forget them.
Nice. All righty. And Chet and Robin.
So my thing that I wish I would have known on our first cruise was, your carry-on luggage that you get to carry on with you. Don't overpack it. You've got some cases, you've got to drag that around with you for a couple of hours before your room is ready. And I wish people would have told me I was going to have to drag that carry-on suitcase around with me everywhere to eat lunch, to wait for my room. What about you?
I wish I knew about door decorating. We didn't know about it on our first
Yeah, we
Carnival
didn't
cruise.
know.
We would have decorated our door for sure.
Yeah, decorations on the door helps you find that door a lot easier too, because all the doors look the same. So
Yep.
definitely would be able to spot that down the hallway when you're, especially late at night when you're headed back to your cabin for the night. Bill, Mr. Cruise expert there, what is something that you on your first cruise that you wish you had known to do before you went on your cruise?
I wish I would have told myself to pace myself. On my first cruise, I hadn't really traveled a lot. And I got on a cruise ship and I got the production shows, I got the casino, I got the ports. So I literally was staying up to 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning in the casino and getting up at 7 o'clock to go to a port. So I would have told myself, you can't do it all. And I would have paced myself where, well, they didn't have the phones back then. I had the Fun Times paper forms. But I would have marked off like certain things I wanted to do that day and stuck with that instead of trying to do everything. Because actually when that cruise was over, I really needed another week off just to recoup because I was getting 3 or 4 hours of sleep a day, maybe.
Wow, yeah, definitely because I remember when we did our first cruise. I mean, we tried to do everything, fit everything in, and we were exhausted by the end of that cruise. Andrew, anything that you wish you would have known before you went on your first cruise?
So when I went on my first cruise, I went with some seasoned cruisers. So they kind of told me the ins and outs, but there were some things that they forgot to mention. My first cruise, I ate a lot, quite a bit. I gained like 40 pounds.
Wow.
I always nowadays I get clothes that are a size a little bit bigger, so that I'm more comfortable. Also, the door decorations, it helps find your room. And like Bill said, to pace yourself. I did drink a lot, so I was young. I don't do that as much now, but I wanted to take everything all in, and it didn't work out that way. That's why I keep cruising though, so you can explore more.
Nice.
You can pace yourself now.
Yeah, breathe it in.
It's important.
Sherry, anything that you wish you maybe more as an adult versus a kid, but anything that you wish you had known before that you know now? But
so I learned something on my last cruise, believe it or not. I did not eat breakfast because I'm going to get on the cruise, I'm going to go eat. But little did we know when we got there was a problem with the computer system. So we had to stand outside for 3.5 hours before we even got on the ship, before anyone could board. So lesson learned, always bring a snack and a drink, because I felt like I was going to pass out by that point. So now I carry snacks when I go onto the ship. Because you never know when you're going to have a line and not get on that ship right away, and you're going to be starving.
yeah. And Ross with Orange Cone Vlogs says he's done one cruise on Oasis of the Seas and got hooked. He went from going to Disney, where he's not doing anymore, but he is planning on cruising. And his biggest mistake was not to overpack. And so that is the next question. How many suitcases do you guys normally take when you go cruising? Well, let me ask you this: laundry facilities. Do you guys take advantage of them, or do you wait till you get home to do the laundry? How do you guys handle that? Start with Greg and Felicia.
We usually take 2 suitcases, and we've not used the laundry
No,
facilities.
I mean, on a 5-day cruise, normally we just take 2 suitcases plus we carry backpacks with all camera gear and that sort of thing in it. However, on this next cruise, we're honestly thinking about taking 4 suitcases, considering all the stuff we're having to carry for Halloween and giveaways and stuff. So it'll be interesting to see.
Yes, and Sea Lake Journeys, same question.
So we typically take 3 or 4 suitcases. We also have camera gear. We have leg gear for his artificial leg. We have to take all the backup supplies for that. I have been known to take a suitcase with nothing but shoes in it. I have been known to do that.
Yeah.
I always overpack, except for the one vacation that I packed clothes for Chet and forgot to pack anything for myself.
She does all the packing. I don't do any of it.
I packed pajamas for myself and a formal gown. That was all I had. I ended up having to buy clothes.
Nice. Bill, how many suitcases do you normally pack with you?
Well, I used to do like a 1 large suitcase and a garment bag. I don't usually dress now. I don't wear a suit to formal night or anything. So normally 1 large suitcase and my backpack, and usually that's with my, medications or anything, my paperwork and my camera gear, and that's about it. I try to pack as light as possible now.
Very, very cool. And I am going to let one more person pop in. We've got Mike, the Naughty Cruiser, is in the house. Welcome in, Mike. Glad you were able to make it, buddy.
Listen, man, I did 90 miles an hour to get here because you needed me on the show.
Well, welcome in. And we'll come to you right now to ask, how many cruises have you done and when did you start cruising?
We're closing in on mid-40s now. My first cruise was in 2002 on the Grand Princess. So Princess was the first cruise line I went on. I got elite status with Princess now, platinum with Carnival, MSC, Norwegian, Margaritaville. I'm hitting every single cruise line. There's not a cruise line out there that's safe from me embarking on other vessels.
Nice. Going back to Andrew. Andrew, how many bags do you normally do you and Jennifer? Does Chloe go on every set? Because you guys have Chloe. Does she go on every cruise with you guys?
Yes.
So how many suitcases do you normally pack?
So it depends. If we go out of Galveston, we're heavily involved with the group cruises. So there's events. Sometimes we'll bring just 1 suitcase alone of gifts for gifts exchange. And then overall, probably 4 suitcases and maybe 2 or 3 bags. And then 1 suitcase for the sodas or water or Red Bull. So, yeah, like maybe 4 suitcases and a couple bags.
Very cool. And what about you, Sherry? How many do you guys normally pack?
So we usually pack 1 each, 1 big suitcase and 1 backpack.
And do you guys ever take advantage of the laundry services on ship?
We almost did when we did our Alaska cruise, but we didn't. We had just enough. Like we were literally on the last day. But no, we've never done the laundry.
And going back to Mike, what about you, Mike? How many bags do you normally pack? And
it really depends on like the length of the voyage, right? So if I'm on a 7-day, I'm gonna go with a large bag. But anything like under 7 days, I'm bringing a medium-sized suitcase and a carry-on that's full of nothing but camera gear. And I'm utilizing all of the laundry service. I don't know how nice it is for y'all to like pack up clean clothes and then come home and unpack a clean suitcase full of clothes. My suitcase just gets pushed on the side for the next trip. So once they clean it, it gets packed up, boom, it sits there, it's ready to roll. So that way when I'm on the next ship, it's already done and out the door. I ain't got to worry about nothing. But it depends on the length of the voyage. And if you got laundry, utilize it. It's there. It's a perk for a reason. take advantage of it. It's awesome.
Yeah.
Absolutely. One thing that TNT Adventures of Sea says, Tom and Terry, is that wish they knew about the drink package. So who would like to talk about? So we've got Royal, we've got Norwegian, we've got Carnival, and MSC, kind of the big four. Who's here on the panel? Who has utilized the drink package? So two of you have. So this is a question that's asked of me a lot since I became a travel agent. Are the drink packages worth it?
It depends on the cruise line.
On Princess, yes. On Carnival and Royal, probably not for us anyway. Yeah,
It really
depends on the
depends.
cruise line.
It really does depend. Like if you're going on MSC, hands down, the MSC drink package is 100% worth it across the board. It's one of the cheapest drink packages you can get. You're allowed 2 drinks at a shot, and it's 100% unlimited, right? So MSC across the board is one of the best ones to get. Carnival, if you drink 6 drinks or more a day, it's well worth it because 6 drinks are going to put you at the cost of the drink package. So if you're going to drink at least 6 drinks or more per day, it's well worth it to have the drink package. Me, I get a little bit of a perk. My drinks usually come through the casino offers, so I get free drinks throughout the ship. On Carnival, it's just well worth it all in all. Princess has a great drink package, and so does Norwegian, but MSC hands down is the best value for a drink package right now.
And if you don't bring your own soda with you and you are a big soda drinker, the soda package is definitely worth it on all the cruise lines.
The great thing about the Princess, too, is it includes your gratuities and your Wi-Fi. So it's not just your drinks in your drink package.
Right.
And then Z's got a question. So who's going on the Carnival Jubilee, the greatest ship, on December 23rd or December 30th? Does anybody have the Jubilee?
Bill does.
Bill does.
I
Bill
do.
does for the 23rd. I know Andrew and Mike do for the 30th. We had to change ours, so we are now not on till the February 24th because of scheduling with Cindy's work. But so there's Greg and Felicia, Carnival Jubilee is the newest Carnival ship. Have you guys thought about booking that one yet? Have you guys looked at it or?
No, we've been in cancel mode. We've canceled everything but the booze cruise that we got coming up. We had an MSC cruise for February of next year, but our daughter decided she wanted to get pregnant and messed that up.
So our first grandbaby.
I don't dare her.
I know. I said y'all probably planned that. But yeah, so
Well, see, what you should have done, Greg and Felicia, y'all should have gave her the calendar of vacations you had planned and say, baby needs to be planned between vacations.
Well, actually, she's our house sitter, so she knew our dates.
Well, then don't hear her.
what was she thinking, right?
I know.
And we had one for later in the year on the Vista, but we decided to.
Well, we have one graduating high school in May, so.
But we've been looking, but we just don't have anything yet. We were looking at Celebration. I don't know. We haven't decided yet.
Yeah.
And then Cruising with Keith says that his first cruise was a Nightmare cruise. Got stuck in Bermuda on the NCL Gym during a hurricane in 2011, Hurricane Irene. So let's go to ports, because this is another question that people have asked. How safe are the ports, or is there ports you would not recommend people to get off or not go cruise to, or are most ports safe? Anybody? Bill, we'll start with you.
Well, I think most ports are safe, but there are if you, I always check like with the travel, I forget the agency for the United States, and they tell you what ports to avoid. Haiti is one. You're probably looking at probably a couple other ones, but Haiti is the one that sticks out in my mind. Belize is one, I believe. But I think most of the ports are fine. And even in Haiti and Belize, if you stick to the port area, you should be fine.
Mhm.
So, but I'm one of those that I get off the ship. I like to go into town and enjoy myself, and never had any problems. Never got robbed. But I don't wear jewelry. I try to look up on customs as far as clothing wear, and I try not to wear anything that would be considered offensive to anybody. I don't wear jerseys and camouflage gear, which is illegal in some countries. So I just try to blend in as much as possible, except for my big backpack.
Yeah, I agree on that one.
Mm-hmm.
It's about being like anywhere you go, you want to be aware of your surroundings.
Mm-hmm.
Things can happen quickly, but I've never felt unsafe anywhere. I don't know. I haven't really been anywhere. Jamaica was. There's some spots you definitely want to stay. Like I feel like you want to stay in a crowded area. You don't want to go down like alleyways or anything like that. Kind of like being in the city. I mean, you just be aware of your surroundings.
Yeah, I would agree. I know our very first cruise, we went to the Bahamas and we went to Nassau. And not that we didn't feel safe, but after our excursion, we had a little bit of time, so we kind of wanted to walk right around the port area. We did walk a block away from the port area, and Cindy did get. We walked into a straw market, which was the biggest mistake we probably could have done. We didn't know, because that's definitely do some research when you're going to your ports, because there's two gals that had stands, and each one of them grabbed Cindy's arms and was like playing tug of war with her, trying to get her to come to their thing. And as I'm trying to get Cindy away from them, they started fighting each other, trying to get her business. So we kind of learned our lesson with Nassau after that one, that we're going to do an excursion, and kind of other than that, hopefully they've changed some since then. So
I would have to say that over the years, the cruise lines have done a really good job of making the port area by the ship safe. I think the biggest mistake is cruisers themselves, just taking for granted that you're in America. Many times you're in a third world country. Their laws aren't the same laws that we have here. Just be a wise cruiser. Don't. And like Bill said, don't make yourself a target with your jewelry and, expensive looking things on.
Yeah. So speaking of ports, do you recommend people to always do excursions or to do a city type tour? What do you guys enjoy doing the most when you do go to different ports? Mike.
Yeah, I don't recommend excursions for first time cruisers. Now listen, don't hate me. I know there's a lot of people that have different opinions, right? Here's my thing. I'm with everybody else. Crime happens everywhere. No matter where you're at, you can walk out your house and be a target for something. So just always be around your surroundings. But I'm a firm believer that in order to experience the country and the culture, you have to get out and experience the country and the culture. And you cannot do that with an excursion. I don't care if the excursion says authentic Jamaican experience. That is not an authentic Jamaican experience. You're not hanging out with the Rastas in the mountains and learning how to cook authentic jerk chicken by this authentic Jamaican experience. So get out there, see the country, see the culture, be amongst the people, eat where the locals eat, drink where the locals drink, explore, and just have a good time. And if you go back again and you didn't enjoy that the first time, then do an excursion. I'm a firm believer in first time there, I'm always hitting the street and enjoying myself. And if I didn't enjoy myself, then I'll do an excursion the next time I'm at that port. I'm not going to waste my whole day on an excursion, because we all know 4 hours excursion is really like a 2-hour excursion with an hour each way commute. You're not really exploring Montego Bay. You're going up to Negril or something like that. So I'm a big believer in hitting the streets and just enjoying the day and taking in all the sights and sounds. And if you've seen my vlogs, you'll notice I don't do excursions unless I'm molested.
Yeah. Mike, I got to agree with you so much. I mean, so many people, they do the excursion. So you're really hanging out with the people that were on the cruise ship. You might as well stayed in Miami and went to a hotel there and just partied there. And
Right.
I just get out. And people are so afraid, even like the Bahamas. I know it's a hassle. They're hustling, trying to get your business, but you weren't in danger. You know, I mean, again, you have to be like any place. If I went, you know, over in Europe and got on the subway, I'm you know, worried about pickpocketers. Most people are you know, good people, and in Bahamas, they're hassling you. It's a hassle, but you're not in danger. Walk a little bit off the strip. Walk down. There's a good rum cake factory, and I forget the name of the street that you have to walk about, I don't know, a half mile away from the port. And I mean, some of the best rum cake that you'll ever get. And
Yeah,
I've never had any problems.
That's a big thing with me, right? Like if you experience the local culture and the local cuisine, then you're actually experiencing the local spot. You're experiencing that island, that vibe, that culture. So like a big thing I tell a lot of people when they ask me like, what is one thing I can do to make my experience better? Well, in the Bahamas, they have certain phrases like we have here in the States, right? So learn a little bit of the way of the culture, learn like the words, what mash up and jam up and all that means. So when you're in a place and it's a good vibe and you're having a good time, you can walk up to the bartender and be like, yo, it's mashed up in here. And he'll look at you like you actually pay it more attention to them and their culture than just a destination that you would go to.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Greg and Felicia, do you guys normally just go to town? Do you guys do excursions most of the time? What do you guys normally do?
Yeah, we like to explore too. I mean, we like to get out and just roam, and we don't go far, you know, outside of the touristy areas, but we prefer to do that over excursions, kind of like everybody else. We want to find restaurants, path restaurant or bar or something like that, kind of hang out and sightsee more than an excursion. I think that's more interesting to us.
Yep. Nice. And going back to luggage, TNT Adventures to Sea says they normally take one suitcase and a carry-on, a giant suitcase for carrying 2 carry-ons per ton.
And I can say this too. You know, talking about that. You know, Mike, you were talking about 4 hours for an excursion or whatever, but you can get off and spend a couple hours in port, roaming around, go to a restaurant or something like that, and still get back on the ship on port days and experience the ship when there's not a lot of people on there too. So we'll go spend a couple hours in town, roam around, go to a restaurant, get some souvenirs, do that sort of thing, and then get back on the ship and just hang out whenever it's not as crowded. So.
And that's my plan for Jubilee in December. Everywhere we're going, I've already been. So once the clears, my focus is 100% the ship. That is my focus.
I agree with you on that one. I'm going to do the exact same thing.
That's a good idea and good pointers there. Going back to the ship, and this is one thing that a lot of people say, that ships are boring and there's no activities to do and they're going to be bored for a 7-day cruise. So are there lots of activities? Do you guys participate? What do you guys like to do when you are on a ship? And we'll start with Sherry.
So we like to play the trivia. We do that. We like to go to the shows, the comedy club, and we eat. So yeah, there's lots to do. And Royal Caribbean, there's tons to do. There's, you know, the rock climbing, there's the zip lining, there's the flow rider, there's all that stuff, and it's all included. So there's always something to find to do. If not, then go sit at the pool.
What about you, Andrew?
We gamble. I like to eat. I'm a foodie, so I like to eat a lot. Drink. I like to go to the shows. I've just recently started going to like the 80s. What is it? The 80s show on the Carnival Dream. I love that. The comedy shows. Yeah, I try to do it all. I try to experience it all just to see. I love music, so I like to do the different music venues that they have.
And Robin and Chet, what do you guys like to do when you're on the ship?
Well, Chet likes to play trivia. Every time they play trivia, you can find Chet there. We like the different music as well. We like to sit around and listen to the different types of music that there are. And we like exploring the ship. I think our favorite thing to do on a ship is the chef's table.
Do you try and do the chef's table on most of your cruises?
We try to do the chef's table on each ship that we've been on, but many times they, it's very limited because they can only sit 12 people.
Yeah, usually.
12 people at a sitting. So unless you get in line, get your name on the list early, you don't get it.
Greg and Felicia, what do you guys like to do when you are on the ship, and what do you plan on doing when you're on the booze cruise?
Go ahead. I know what you're going to say.
Nap.
Her favorite pastime is napping on the cruise.
Hey, the best time.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Ain't nothing wrong with a good C-day nap, Felicia. Don't let Greg tear you away from that bed. Hug that pillow tight and close your eyes.
So
Yes.
here's the thing: where is your favorite spot? Do you always go to your cabin take a nap, or are you grabbing a lounge or somewhere on the ship?
Here's the thing: we love inside cabins for that very reason, because it's so dark in there. Doesn't matter what time of the day, you can get a good nap.
Yeah.
That's the thing. But you're going back to what you said, or asking the question earlier about people getting bored on a 7-day cruise or whatever. It's evidently those people don't have a job like I have. It's stressful, and I don't get bored. Even if I'm just sitting there, even if we're just hanging out, just watching people walk by. I mean, I'm content. Doesn't matter. But I mean, we like music. We like what everybody else likes too. But I can't imagine getting bored on a cruise.
We like just sitting there and watching folks walk by.
Mm-hmm.
What about you, Bill? What do you like to do when you are on the ship? What's your favorite activity?
I love music, so a lot of times you'll see me like wherever they're playing some music at late night. I like the piano bar, especially if you got somebody that's good, funny. Casino, I got to keep those cheap offers coming in, so I got to spend a little time in the casino.
Yeah,
make my
feel great somehow.
Every now and then, you have to go and play some trivia. Again, I mean that would be another one of these tips. It's like do certain things that out of your comfort zone. If try trivia, try when I did that Trans-Pacific cruise, they had learn how to play the ukulele. Whoever thought I would be trying to play a ukulele, but again, just do something out your comfort zone. But listen to music, and I'm good all day long.
Yeah.
And let's see, did I hit everybody on that one? Mike, did I talk? What's your favorite thing to do on the ship?
Nah, but I mean, it's just like everybody else, right? So music's a big thing for me. The piano bar is absolutely my favorite, and I love a good piano bar player, one that got jokes, one that can sing, one that can get the crowd involved and all of that. Comedy's another big thing. Love late night comedy, nice slice of pizza afterwards, and then you go to the casino. Like Bill said, do something out of your comfort zone. My comfort zone is to make sure I'm in the casino for 6 hours. I'll stay for 8 because that's out of my comfort zone. But I do a lot, man. So it's like music is big, comedy's big. I love seeing all the shows, hitting the shows, but I like doing the little odd things that they have, right? So like quest or scavenger hunts, those type of things. And if you're getting bored on a cruise, well, I'm sorry to burst your bubble, then I don't think cruising is for you because there's no reason you should ever be bored on a cruise ship.
Nah, I agree.
It's funny you mentioned Quest. All my cruises, it was a couple of cruises ago that I just went to my first show on Carnival Quest. It was one of the funniest and greatest shows they have on the ship.
It's awesome.
Little raunchy at times, but I had such a good time.
Yeah, and it's a good belly laugh, man. It's that laugh that your ribs hurt, you had a great time and it was fun.
And Danny with Griswold Family Vacay says all he takes is one Speedo, and that's all he needs for the whole cruise.
Only one.
Well, it looks like I got something extra to pack for the booze cruise now.
Oh boy.
All right, so let's see. What is some things that here's the thing, do any of you have any stories or anything? What is the strangest thing that you have seen on a cruise ship? Greg and Felicia. Anything?
I can't think of anything. Strangest thing?
Mike, anything weird or strange or that you've seen or wish you had not seen?
I mean, there's some things I wish I haven't seen. It's not strange or weird, but I was on a vessel in December when somebody went overboard and took their life. Like other than weird and strange. No, not really. I'll see some weird and strange people in October. Kurt and Marsha are going to be on a cruise with us, so they'll be on the ship. But other than that, no, I haven't really seen anything like weird or strange. When I was younger, I thought it was weird that people used to have dogs in diapers on cruise ships. And then as I got older and realized like service animals and all that, other than that, nothing too out there.
All right. Is there? Do you guys participate in either collecting magnets or T-shirts or anything like that for either the ports or the cruise ships? Danny Griswold says that he gets a shirt from every port. Do you guys do anything like that?
We do we get a Christmas ornament at every port.
We do a shot glass.
Magnets, Christmas ornaments, spoons. Yeah.
I'm not a big souvenir guy. I don't really do many souvenirs.
It's like the casino addiction. You see something, you're like, oh, I gotta have that. Yeah.
Andrew, is there anything? Do you guys collect anything or make sure you get a shirt or anything? I know we do the magnets we try and get a magnet on every ship.
So if it's an itinerary that we've never been before, we like to collect souvenirs, like magnets, shot glasses. If we go to like Cozumel or whatever, or Honduras, rum cakes, we collect those, and that's about it.
It's kind of hard to collect rum cake when you get it home. It's pretty much gone, right?
Oh, you can bring rum cake home?
Yeah.
You just collected the package at that point.
Do any of you guys have a favorite port or itinerary that you have done in your times of cruising? Do any of you have one port that you love going to? Start with Sherry.
If you talk about private islands, it would be St. Thomas, or not St. Thomas, Coco Cay. But actual port, we would say St. Thomas. That's one of our favorites.
What about you, Greg and Felicia?
I would say still, right now, Cozumel is still our favorite. That was our first one that we went to, where we blacked out and don't remember most of it. That was still our favorite.
And Chet and Robin?
Well, I don't think we really have a favorite, but our most memorable that we say should be on everybody's bucket list is Alaska.
Yeah, going out of Juneau, dog sledding across the glacier, helicopter rides, whale watching. It's stuff there at Juneau to do that's just, bucket list stuff.
And, when you're talking about excursions, we do excursions. We try to do excursions that we can't do here. We can't go whale watching here. So when we go to Alaska, we're definitely going to go whale watching.
We're dog sledding on glaciers.
Right. So when it comes to excursions, we do excursions that we cannot do anywhere else except for there, wherever there is.
What about you, Bill? Do you have a favorite port that you've been to?
We're going to keep it in the Caribbean because my favorite place that I want to go back to is Moorea in the French Polynesian islands. But as far as the Caribbean, what I like doing now a lot of times, I've been to the islands a lot, so they all start to look the same to me. But I like Carnival's Grand Turk, their private island, Half Moon Cay, and Amber Cove. And I like those three ports together because it allows me to go by a pool, have a beer, enjoy some sun, and have a nice relaxing time.
Very cool. And Mike, do you have a favorite port that you've been to?
Yeah. Did we have to keep it in the Caribbean? Because I don't agree to that.
Nope.
All right, Madeira, Portugal.
Oh, wow.
Portugal. It is absolutely amazing. If you have the opportunity to go there, I highly suggest you do. Sitting cliffside, 350 feet above the ocean, watching the waves break against the brick, the rocks and all that, and drinking espresso. 350 feet above cliffside. It's absolutely breathtaking. There's nothing like it, and I can't wait to get back there. But yeah, man, anywhere in Europe is phenomenal, but Madeira, Portugal is just, it's one of those places. It's like, they say heaven on earth. Like when you go to Alaska, Alaska's beautiful. I just went there. I absolutely loved it. And I agree with doing the excursions in Alaska, but Madeira is just one of those places that even if you only go once in your lifetime, you'll be 100% satisfied. There's just no way you'll be disappointed.
Where did you go out of to go on that one?
So I sailed out of Southampton. I was on the Carnival Celebration Transatlantic, the inaugural, and I went to Madeira, and it was my very first time over in Europe. But that specific port, even till this day, I compare everything to that spot, and it's just, it's one of those places that you'll never find another one of those places. So you have to go back if you want that experience.
Nice. Andrew, do you and Jennifer have a favorite port that you like to go to?
Half Moon, Cozumel, and Skagway. I like them all.
Yeah. How many times have you been to Alaska?
Once, and then we're going again in 2025 on the Encore. That one's going to be great.
That is going to be a fantastic cruise.
Yeah.
And Danny says that he's never seen Greg so quiet. And Cruise Nuts are going to be on the Jubilee on December 23rd. And all right, so if you guys, and we'll go around the horn, could give one piece of advice for anybody, especially anybody that is cruising for the very first time, but this could be for anybody. What is one piece of advice that you would give them? And we'll start with Greg and Felicia. One piece of advice that you would give to a first-time cruiser, or anyone for that matter, but mainly a first-time cruiser on this question.
Don't overpack is probably one of them. Like they said, everybody said before. Don't overpack. Maybe find you a good TA to work with, like Bruce
or maybe Felicia, or Mike, or Bill, or Andrew. Chet and Robin, one piece of advice that you guys would give a first-time cruiser?
I would say assume nothing. Know before you go. Do not and when I say assume nothing, don't assume that you're automatically going to get transportation from the airport to the cruise ship or something like that. Know before you go. Don't listen to what other people have told you, even YouTube channels. Don't go by what YouTube channels have told you. Contact the cruise line, contact your travel agent, find out what the rule is today. They're constantly changing.
Yeah, I'd recommend somebody, a first-time cruiser, definitely get a travel agent, because you're going to have a lot of questions. You're going to need somebody that knows the current up-to-date answers for that particular cruise line, those particular ports. It's easy to get confused between ports and itineraries and cruise lines. So get somebody that you can trust and have confidence in. That's our advice. Yeah,
we've heard people say their whole vacation was ruined because no one told them.
Yeah.
Whatever that was.
Good piece of advice. Bill, any if you could give somebody any advice at all, what's one piece of advice that you would give them?
The one thing I would tell people is get to the port city early. I don't know how many people have been stressed out, and don't get me wrong, I've done it the day of, but for me, it takes away from the vacation. If you're worried if you're going to make the flight, if you're worried if the ship, when they say they're pulling out at 4:00, it doesn't mean that you can board at 3:55. You have to be there early. And so many people, the ship doesn't leave the 4. It's still right there. Don't be that person. Get there, get there a day early if you can, and have backup plans in case for if you go on a day of, have a backup plan that, hey, check with a couple of airlines. For me, I'm from Detroit. It's like, well, fly Delta. Well, Delta's flight canceled. Is there an American flight that I can catch, or is there another way to get down there? Don't leave yourself just one option. I mean, the stress, it just ruins the first day of cruising, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And to add to what Bill said about the stress will make you mess up,
Absolutely. Andrew, one piece of advice that you would give?
Pack first aid kit. You don't know if you get seasick or not, have Dramamine. And like Together We Travel, they said pack your patience. I agree with that too. Be nice.
Sherry, one piece of advice that you would give?
So I would say if you're going to book an excursion, definitely do your research. Get on YouTube, look at the excursion, make sure it's something you're definitely interested in. Just because you read it might not necessarily be what you're getting. So watch some videos and make sure that it's something that you want to do and what you expect it's going to be, right? You don't want to get there and be shocked that it's not what you thought it was going to be. So I would definitely do research.
Absolutely. And Mike, what is one piece of advice that you definitely would give the first-time cruiser or anybody?
My one piece of advice is there's 3 things you should never forget in your suitcase. Pack your open mind, pack your camera, and don't forget your travel insurance. That simple, that easy. Open mind because you're expecting everything to either go wrong or go right. Your camera to take the best pictures of all the memories you're going to create, and the travel insurance because you never know what's going to happen.
Yeah, I completely agree, especially on the travel insurance. Everybody knows I stress everybody to get it because you may never need it, but the one time you don't buy it and you need it, you're going to wish you had it.
Mm-hmm.
And it become a very expensive trip if you don't have it and something happens. So get travel insurance, get it. And also, like a lot of the panels said, have an open mind and make sure to be adaptable because I can guarantee you there will be something to go wrong during your cruise. So be able to be adaptable. It could be, on the flight there, on the last 2 cruises ago, we got fogged in Seattle and didn't get to fly out till 4 hours late. Luckily, we were flying in the day early, but you just never know, and it could be something completely out of your control.
Mm-hmm.
But you need to be prepared and definitely get there early. And we always
make the ship. Your travel insurance will take care of it for you.
There you go.
And people think, like Bill said, the ship is right there. It'll wait. That ship, if they don't leave that dock when they're supposed to, they are charged by the minute.
Mm-hmm.
By the minute that they're sitting there. And we're not talking little fines. We're talking thousands of dollars every minute that they sit there.
And I think Key West is more expensive when they wait.
Of course it is. It's Key West. Come on.
Oh, can I add one more thing?
Absolutely.
I highly, highly suggest getting a passport. Mm-hmm. Instead of waiting in line for a birth certificate, highly suggest having a passport. It's so much easier. In and out.
Absolutely. I want to say one more thing, kind of on that same line, but and Cindy and I don't know why we hadn't done it earlier, but we finally did it last year. If you fly a lot, get the TSA pre-check.
Oh yeah.
I mean that thing.
On that one.
What's that?
Can I change your mind on that one? If you're a cruiser and you want to cruise more than just in the United States, I suggest global entry instead of TSA pre-check.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
Global entry is so much better. It's better for you when you're entering back into the States. It's amazing. It's wonderful. When I flew in from Barcelona in April, I was literally through customs within 30 seconds, and I waited for everybody else that was on the plane with me. for like an hour and 20 minutes. So global entry is phenomenal, and it comes with TSA pre-check. And check with your credit card providers because majority of them reimburse you for getting global entry. So they'll cover the cost of your global entry application. So.
Oh, very cool. Is global entry the same, about the same as TSA when it comes to the
it's
amount?
$99. It's good for, I think it's 5 years or 10 years. It's pretty much the same as TSA.
That's about the same as TSA. TSA is 5 years. So
yeah,
it might be a couple $dollars more, but as Mike said,
a lot more international travel. So like if you want to fly back from Spain, you can get in through customs a lot quicker, a lot easier than everybody else with just regular acceptance, because none of that TSA pre-check doesn't work when you're entering back into the States, but global entry helps you out more when you're coming back into the States and still provides you that TSA pre-check for all your flights within the U.S.
And you get to keep your shoes on.
Your shoes, your bag.
Don't have to take out your electronics.
Yeah,
none of
that's
that.
with the TSA pre-check, that's one thing that surprised me is I was wearing my ball cap and they just told me to wear it, just walk through. It was crazy. So yeah, definitely get either, if you're going to do a lot of international traveling, then the global entry would probably be the way to go. But get one of them because you are going to get through so much quicker. So, well, thank you guys for coming in today. I can't thank you enough. Great panel. You guys are seasoned veteran cruisers, travelers, and there's been a lot of good information put out here. I am going to, we're going to go around the horn one more time and just tell us what you guys have going on with your channel and also with what you got coming up and what your next cruise is. So, and we'll start with Greg and Felicia.
Hey, we just have our weekly live streams every Friday night at 7 o'clock here on the YouTube channel, and our next cruise is the Booze Cruise with about 20 of our closest creator friends and 80 other friends that are hanging with us. So that'll be fun. It'll be on the Carnival Glory here at the end of October. So we appreciate you having us, Bruce, and hanging out with everybody.
Absolutely. Again, thank you very much for coming in. And let's go with Chet and Robin.
Wednesday morning, 8:30. Join us live. Sunday evening at 6. Join us live for that also. And we have videos coming out on Ray Parade every Friday. And our next cruises are the Mardi Gras in December and MSC Seashore in May of next year. And right the week following that is the Group Cruise. Group Cruise, y'all, on the Norwegian Breakaway. Come on and join us.
And Bruce will be more than glad to book that group cruise for you.
Absolutely. It's going to be an awesome cruise too, and we're going to be on that one, so cannot wait. That'll be our first Norwegian ship. All right, Bill, what do you have going on with your channel and your next cruise, sir?
Well, on my channel, I have Controversial Cruising and myself. We do a chat cruise talk every Wednesday at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, 4 p.m. Pacific Time. And also, I do my own show, Banter with Bill, Thursdays at 5 p.m. My next cruise is on the Booze Cruise. And again, I can't wait to meet everybody that's going to be on the Booze Cruise. It's going to be lots of fun.
It is. It's going to be fantastic. Cannot wait. It will not. What are we down to, Mike? About 54 days, 55, something like that?
54, I think it is, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. My fingers are starting to go numb from all the daily posts in the group, but we're getting there. We're getting there.
Mike, we appreciate them.
Yeah. Andrew, what do you guys have going on with your channel?
We have
next cruise.
We have with Controversial Cruising to be determined for trivia Thursday, and then we have lives on Saturday. Our next cruise is going to be on New Year's Eve, the Jubilee. We're excited for that. I think that's pretty much it.
Very cool. And awesome. All right, let me hit that button there. There we go. And Sherry, what do you have going on with your channel? When is your next cruise?
So we are live Tuesdays at 6 p.m. Eastern Time and also Saturday mornings at 9:30 Eastern Time. And our next cruise is the non-group cruise, October 22nd on the Carnival Celebration.
Awesome. And Mike, the Naughty Cruiser, what do you have going on? I know you have a podcast, you also have a live, but what's going on with your
Oh my
channel?
God, I got so much stuff going on. Let me tell you, first off, every Thursday night, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, y'all can catch me for what we call Naughty Hour over there on the Naughty Cruiser Travel Vlogs. I got a monthly podcast with Josh from the Moonlight Adventures happening once a month. Right now, we're doing it like twice a month. It's called Peer to Peer. You can find that on Spotify. We bring on different creators, and we just have that Joe Rogan style podcast conversation. All different stuff. It's not just specifically built around cruising. So check that out. It's called Peer to Peer, play on words. And my next cruise is currently on the Booze Cruise, the Carnival Glory out of New Orleans. But who knows? The wallet's got an itch. I might have to scratch it before then, and we'll see what happens. But tomorrow I got a vlog dropping at 8 o'clock. So all that fun stuff. Alaska starts dropping tomorrow. So check it out.
Perfect. All right. Well, again, thank you guys all for coming in. Thank you for everyone asking some good questions in the chat, and everyone that joined us today. Thank you very much. And go over and check out Nautical Nurse Nancy, who is live right now, and let her know that we sent you her way by typing in hashtag O2ORaid, and she'll know that we sent you. All right. Well, you guys, everyone have a wonderful evening. And until next time, happy travels. We'll see you all out there.
Bye.